Okay, so welcome everyone. Thank you for joining. Thank you for your time and your interest to be here today. So we are very excited to show you at WindingTree what we have done and what it can benefit you. And we think we have something that is going to disrupt travel distribution in general. So we are very pleased that you are here today with us. So this is the first of a series of workshops that we are planning. It's going to be sometimes a bit technical, so you can get a bit more in depth of what we're doing, use it, and how it works. And we're going to have more in the future, but yeah, this is the very first one, so welcome everyone. Let's dive in. Before we start, so I'm Mathieu Taon. I'm the product owner at WindingTree. I've been working for more than 8 years in research and development, in payment and ticketing. I worked in a GDS. I'm also independent consultant. I work for major European airlines. And I've been with WindingTree to develop these new products. You have my contact details below if you want to contact me. If you have any questions, feel free. We're here to answer your questions. So today in the audience, we have 50% is business, more or less, from the attendee list that we have. CEOs and owners, and 50% is technical. We have some CTOs, we have some else. So it's really a mixed audience. I'm trying to let you know when we're more on the business side, and I'm going to let you know when we're more on the technical side, so you can focus accordingly. If you have any questions, please feel free to keep them for the end. We have a Q&A session. You can always contact me by email if you have any question. We do appreciate any feedback on this. So today we are going to have a quick technical overview, what the solution is, how it works. We're going to show you how to set up your organization. So this comes in 4 steps. We have your company information, how to establish trust, how to provide some banking details, and how to expose some bookings. We're also going to show you how to create a booking with an API. So how the authentication is working, how to verify the identity of the peer that you're working with. The second part is going to be a bit more technical. And then we're going to provide some links and resources and our Q&A session. Today, we're not going to show any live coding, but we're going to share some code snippets in the chat of, we're going to provide a link to a Jupyter notebook so you can follow me in that, and you can do it in the future. Also, we are going to open source soon Glider, which is an open source travel agency, so you can find a reference implementation of what I'm going to explain today on both sides. So either you're a travel buyer or a travel supplier. We're going to open source this. It's not open source yet because we need to go through some audits first. Also, there are some for the crypto communities, cryptocurrencies on Live Token. There's a dedicated AMA session, Ask Me Anything, on August 3rd, so you can refer to it. The product that we have, today I'm going to cover 3 products, OrgID, Simard Pay, and Glider B2B. OrgID is the business register. It's a smart contract, which is the source of trust for the ecosystem, where you can have all the verifiable business details for each participant. It's really the foundation of all the work that WindingTree has been doing over the last years, the results of hackathons, the results of feedback. And it's really, I think it's something really powerful that is going to help our industry. Simard Pay is a settlement platform, so it allows some documentation between participants, and it provides also some settlement and billing aggregation. I'm going to explain in details how it works. And finally, we have Glider B2B. This is the travel aggregator part of Glider, which have content from today Air Canada and Nordic Choice. It it's really kind of a proxy today that allows you to get this content from these two providers and potentially some more providers in the future, but it's really a reference implementation. It's not the core product that we have. So the core product is really the ecosystem. What's the benefit of using Glider B2B? So we have the full content of Air Canada, including the lowest fares. And for Nordic Choice, we have also some discounted rates, so lower than Booking.com, and you can get this content live today. So today we are going to do step by step how to use the platform. So the first 3 steps is really to be able to get on this marketplace and to discover other participants. So I'm going to briefly explain how to set up an Ethereum account, not in full detail because this can really vary depending on your organization, how to create an organization profile, and how to verify your organization. Then we have steps 4, 5, 6, and 7, which are a bit more complex, where I'm going to show you how to create some bookings on this marketplace. So for travel suppliers, I'm going to explain how to create and register your service API. For travel buyers, I'm going to explain how to create and register an authentication key so you can access to these travel suppliers APIs. I'm also going to show you how to register your bank accounts with Simard Pay and what you can do with it. And then I'm going to show you how to get create some bookings and to receive bookings with your suppliers. So again, if you have any question at any stage, please do take note of them. We're going to answer them in the Q&A session or by email if we do not have time to cover everything. So as a technical overview, the first step to use this marketplace is onboarding. This is something that you have to do only once. It's interacting with this already smart contract, and we have the marketplace.running3.com that allows you to do all this from a user interface. If you're a travel buyer, you can register your authentication key. If you're a travel supplier, you can register your service APIs to expose your content. Simard Pay, you can register your bank account. So in case you want to do some bookings or to receive the settlement from your booking, you can do this in Simard Pay. The second step will be the booking part. So in booking, you're going to be able to shop, to create some orders. Okay, so people are telling me that the connection is unstable, so I will just stop my video. Hopefully this is going to be better. Okay, I hope it's better. Please let everyone know if it's not the case. So the first thing will be to do some shopping requests, and the second step will be to create some orders. And I'm going to show how to create a guarantee in Simard Pay and how to claim this guarantee. Okay, so let's go in the details. So for this first part, I'm going to show a live demo on marketplace.running3.com. This is mostly for business owners and for leadership, and it's relatively easy from a technical point of view to do all these actions. So if you navigate to marketplace.running3.com, get into the UI where you can see all organizations and you can search organizations. Today we already have, which explained briefly, and we have a few more participants that register into the platform. You can see links, so you can see, for example, this trust level. For example, you can see this partner Smart Hotel Rates on Tao. They have verified 2 things. So you can see that they have verified their website, they have published on Facebook, their organization, and they have published on LinkedIn. So you can see all partners can provide this trust proof. I'm going to explain. So for the purpose of this workshop, let's say you want to get some content from Glider aggregator and you want to transact with them. So you can search Glider. Oh, sorry, being told that the connection is bad. I don't know I should connect to mobile. Yeah, maybe. Just drop a few seconds and I will connect with the mobile. 1 second. So I apologize for this connection issue. So is it better now? Please let me know, guys, if the sound is better. Okay. I will try to proceed like this. If it's not okay, I will just join with the phone. Sorry. Okay. Okay. So let's say I would like to transact with Glider, Glider aggregator. So you can tell here. The first thing is you will need to create your organization. So for this, at the moment, I'm going to use the staging type environment, so we can do some book, and we're not going to spend some real money. The first thing to onboard this marketplace would be to create. So for Ethereum, it's I know that in the audience we have some people that are coming from the travel industry without knowledge on what is blockchain, Ethereum. So there's a lot of material online that you can check. I would say as a basis, you can have create some addresses on the blockchain, which are for free. And then if you want to interact with it from within your browser, you can use a plugin which is called MetaMask, which I have installed here, where you can have this Ethereum cryptocurrency and you can interact with smart contracts. So we suggest to use MetaMask. Potentially you can use other ones. This is really the first thing to use. In terms of security, it really depends on your organization. So if you're a large and complex organization, you may not want to have your account private key, use your security locally, your hardware. If you have any doubt, please contact us. So when you interact with Ethereum, you always have to pay a small fee for each interaction you're doing with the network. This is not something specific to one increase. It's the same for all decentralized applications. And it's a relatively small fee. So we're talking about cents, maybe a couple $1 maximum if it is a busy period. So I had a talk with Pedro on Friday, and he said, Pedro, you're here. So Pedro said, if you, for all the participants in this call, if you need some transactions fee, you can ask us, and we're going to send you a few couple Ethereum, so you can test it. So also some last thing on Ethereum. So you have full control over your organization on your keys. So if you create an organization and you want to modify it, there's no outside we can do. You have pure control. So with control comes responsibility. It means that you need to ensure all your security to be sure that you're not going to lose anything. Again, if you have any questions, please ask us, because we can understand it's something a bit new for some of you. So for this demo, I've already created an address, which is WT demo here, and I've loaded some test Ethereum, the cryptocurrency, to be able to interact with the contract. So when you start interacting with the platform, so I'm connected to Sten test network, but it will be different for the live. So you can see I have already two organs. I'm going to create one for you. So when you create your profile, you're being things. So the first thing is general information. So let's say I'm a limited company. It will be running free workshop. You can have a local registration number as well to be able to verify it. So for today, I'm going to use Belgium. So I'm based in Belgium. I'm going to use that. It's based in Brussels capital, Brussels city. So as it is in French, I will put it workshop. Number 3, and office normally is not needed. So, okay, you can just put anything. And you can put as well your phone number, your website, and your social media accounts. You can also add a logo if you have one. For the purpose of this demo, I'm not going to do it, but it's pretty simple. You can just upload add a URL to a link. So now that you have a profile, you need to store this profile information on the blockchain. So to store it, we're going to need, you need to select if you want to host it by yourself. So you can use this option. So it's basically just a file that you would need to expose publicly. So you can have it in a GitHub repository or on your website. Or you can use the OneInktree marketplace, and everything is going to be managed for you. So I'm using this option. And when I'm going to create this profile, I'm going to, I will be requested to submit this transaction to the network. So as I said before, this is the same for all interactions with the blockchain, not specific to OneInktree. And you have to pay this small fee here to the network. So it's not going to OneInktree. If you want to have it faster, and because we're in a demo today, I'm just going to use the fast option, and I will confirm. Because it's blockchain, we need to wait for the next block to include our transaction. So normally, if I pay the highest fee, it should be pretty quick. Yeah, so it's done. So you can go to my organization and you can see this OneInktree workshop created. So you can see all my details here, and for the moment it's pretty empty, but I have everything. From here, the interesting thing is you can start adding some trust proof. The trust proof, you can add your website. So basically, it's just copying this identifier, which is created for your organization. And this identifier is unique to your organization. It's stored in the blockchain. So there's different ways to do it, either as a DNS or either you host this file on your server, and it's going to be one trust proof. You can also post on your LinkedIn this text. So you can see, for example, on the OneInktree website, we did that, or on your Facebook account as well. There's many things that you can do with it. I'm going to explain as we come to it what are owner's agent management and what is service management and what is Simard bank accounts. Okay, so I've created my organization and we're pretty much ready to go. So if I'm go to my schema before, you can see that I've done, sorry, this one. So I've created an Ethereum account. I've created an organization profile, and I can start verifying my organization. I'm not going to do it today. So the next step is going to be a bit more technical. I'm going to show how to create bookings. So to create bookings, before this, we need to do two things, which can be done during the onboarding phase, but you can do it if you need to create some bookings. So let's say I'm a travel buyer. I created this organization and I want to book content from Glider. Glider is one supplier. So I will need to create a key to be able to access this content. So here we're going a bit more into the technical details. And to help this, I have created a Jupyter notebook that we are going to see in the chat. Please, the team, I continue to provide. And this is going to help us to interact with the already smart contract and to create all the things. So I have some Jupyter notebooks is based on Python. So I have a few code snippets here, which I'm going to explain what it means and what we're doing. So the first thing will be to connect to an Ethereum node. When you use the Ethereum network, you need to connect to a node. You can use Infura, which is a free service, or you can create your own node and do all these operations. So let's just connect to the Infura node. So you can see I'm connected, and I'm going to retrieve the organization that I just created. So you can copy the ID of your organization from here. You will be familiar with it. It's also in the URL. And I'm going to retrieve information about it. I think I didn't. Yeah. Yeah. So you can see all the details of the organization, and as you can see here, all these details, if the organization exists, the file with all everything is public. So it's not because we did it through the marketplace here, sorry, that it's the only way to access it. You can access it completely openly, do your own implementation, and get all these details. Based on when you create an organization, there's the JSON document that describe your organization. You can retrieve it, and there's different sections into it. So I'm just going to open it to show you what it's like. It's with all the details of details, and you can retrieve this with a simple API call. So in this example, I would like to connect to Glider to make some bookings. So I'm going to retrieve all information about Glider. I'm going to search for Glider. I'm going to use the Glider aggregator part. I'm going to copy this ID. Sorry. I'm going to verify that condition. So it exists. I have the details of the JSON. And I'm going, for example, here I'm interested in getting the service API section because I want to interact with it. So in service API section, you can see that we have a staging file here, and you have also a documentation. So it's something that we encourage every supplier here, aggregator, travel agency, airlines, and hotels, to provide these service APIs, so and understand how to use your API. So we have a full swagger here for people technical. It means that all the details of getting offers, getting a sitemap for getting an offer, fulfillment, everything is here, and it explains how to use it. I'm going to anyway to describe it in detail today. Okay, so now that I want to interact with this organization, I need to authenticate to this organization. So the first thing will be create an authentication token. I'm going to explain what it means. So if you see here, if I'm a buyer, I register an authentication key on our contract, actually on the JSON. So to do this, it's pretty simple, and I think it's really a change of paradigm compared to what is existing on the market today. In the sense that in the traditional world, you need to ask your supplier to provide you a key, and we know that having an interaction with the supplier to provide you a key, it can take some time. You have to exchange by email. They need to verify you. This can be very long. What we propose is something completely different, that you can actually create yourself your key. So here I'm creating the elliptic curve key using the algorithm which is used by the blockchain. It can be some other algorithm, but it's the one that we have at the moment. ES256K. So I'm creating the private key and the public key. So they're created, in this case, I've created them locally. Of course, if in a live setup, you would want to create this from a setup or security and method of creating this, because it can be pretty sensitive. And what we're going to do is with this key that are created, we have a private one, which we are going to use to sign the transactions, and a public one, which we're going to expose on our organization, so anyone can can verify that it's who we say we are. So I'm going to use this public key here and put it into my organization. So I'm adding an agent key. So this means that in this case, it will be a web server key. So I'm providing the algorithm that I've selected, the public key, and we're going to say it's a web server agent. Safe key. So because we're changing information of our organization, we need to again submit a transaction fee to the network. No, sorry. Again, I'm going to pay a bit more to have it faster than 21 minutes. Okay, so it's being submitted. If you're familiar with MetaMask, you can see all the transactions that are ongoing in the contract interaction panel. You can see that we're pending transaction to be mined. Okay, sorry, we need to wait a few seconds to wait for the next block on the blockchain. So while this is ongoing, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm going to wait just in case. Okay, it's created. So you can see you have your agent key created here. And this is going to be your authentication. This is going to be used by the web server to authenticate as your organization. If you're a travel supplier, you can go into the services management here, and the same as you have seen for Glider, you can expose here your service, if it's a booking service, and put the URI of your services and your documentation. So now that I created a key, I'm going back to my, I'm going back, sorry, I lost my, yeah. So I created my key. Of course, my private key is known to no one. I've only exposed the public one. And using this key, we can use we can create some tokens to authenticate with the others. So here I've prepared a small script. It's going to create a GWT tokens. So GWT is a standard for authentication that is used in many places, including Amazon and Microsoft, for example. So if you want, you can review the code offline, but we're going here to create two tokens, one to authenticate with Glider aggregator, and one to authenticate with Simard Pay. So if I run this script, so you can define how much time it is going to be valid. So this is 4 hours, for example, but it can vary depending on your needs. And you can see here I have two authentication token values. So from here, it's pretty straightforward to use. It's really the common basis in many places. You just have to use this GWT token in the authentication header of your API. So if you're on the supplier side, the interesting part is you can verify this token. So there's many involved in the verification. You can verify that it's aimed for you. The expiration is not too late. You can verify the public key of courses associated to organization. You can verify the hash to verify that it has not been altered. And you can also have a schema that we have provided that you can validate that it's complete schema. And you can do many other things. For example, if you want to have kind of a list, whitelist mechanism, or if you want to have only some countries allowed, you can do your own custom logic. So I think in this case, because we're using the blockchain again to verify the content, but because it's readable, it's really fast. I think it's just a bit long because I would need to reconnect my node. But normally it's fast to read from the blockchain, and because it's almost local. Okay, so we need to reconnect my node. It's taking a few minutes or seconds. Okay, so I'm connected again. I'm going to run the verification. Okay, so we are verifying my token. Okay, so you have the result pretty fast. So you have all the details of the company being provided, and you can decide if you want to accept transactions from this company or not. For performance reasons, you may want to cache this content. It's really up to you. Okay, so now that I've created an authentication token and I explain how to verify it if you're a supplier, the next step will be to create a booking. So to create a booking, I will go back to my schema. To create a booking, the first thing will be to shop for content, and then you can order from the travel supplier. And we have provided a mechanism with Simard Pay that allows you to create a guarantee with Simard Pay and also to claim the guarantee if you're a travel supplier. This allows some disintermediation logic. If you have any issues to create the booking, then you can cancel your guarantee and so on. Also, it helps you to have only one settlement and not multiple settlements with 1,000 of organizations. So back to my Simard Pay. So when you create a new organization, your balance will be empty. So here I'm authenticating. You can see that I'm authenticating with the tokens that I've created for Simard. And you see my balance is empty. I have nothing. So the first thing will be to create a deposit. So it's a bit like a PayPal wallet. That you would load some money on this wallet so you can use it with organizations, with different suppliers, sorry. So we have here deposit instructions if you want to do a transfer. So it's based on Simard Pay bank account. And here for the purpose of this demo, we're just going to simulate a deposit. So this is a feature which is of course in test only for anyone wondering. So I've created a deposit, and if I now check my balance, you will see that I've deposited 12,000 euro on my account. So you can withdraw funds at any time. For this, you need to register a bank account. So to create the bank account, we are working on a feature which is going to be available this week to do it directly from the marketplace, but you can also directly interact with the contract. So for example, here, three things, creating creating accounts, my Swiss bank account. And then I'm withdrawing the funds on that normally have 0 service. Yeah, so taken everything. So in this demo, we are going to perform a booking with Air Canada. Air Canada is currently configured only with CAD currency. So I'm going to create a book CAD, sorry, a deposit in CAD. Okay, I think I have also in this demo settlement for the hotel, but I think we're not going to have time to show the hotel part. So, but okay, anyway, I'm going to deposit some funds. And you can see I have some 10,000 CAD available. I don't have euro available and have SEC available. So let's create a flight booking. So now that I've some funds on my Simard Pay account, I can create some bookings. We've created an integration which allows you to use a simple REST-JSON API to interact with this content. Of course, we welcome anyone that has knowledge in NDC API or TXML to expose directly this API on the marketplace. So for the search offers, it's pretty straightforward. Let's say I'm searching for Montreal to Toronto at a specific travel date, which is the 12th of August for one adult. I'm using this API call here. Between 30 and 40 seconds before getting an answer from Air Canada. And you will see that I have a bunch of offers here at the price. Explain at the beginning, all these offers we have the full content of Air Canada, so it's not it's more than what you can find in the GDS. So you can manipulate this data. For example, here you can see from fuel to Montreal, Toronto, or 30, depending on different operating carriers. But for this, I'm going to just select, I think, the first one. And you also have a mapping of passengers, so you can see all the details in the API. I'm going to select all. We have also the pricing. So with Air Canada, you need to price and before the fulfillment. This gives you all the details on the fares conditions, all the legal text that you have for your offer. Like seat maps that you can see in our API. So here you can see, so it's a bunch of data. All the technical people understand how it works. It's really easy. You have all the breakdown of all the tax. So we have the search and we have the price. I'm going now to create this order. So to create the order, I will first create a guarantee, and then I will create the order with Glider Aggregator. And Glider Aggregator is going to claim this guarantee. So you can decide how much time you want a guarantee to you. In this case, in Glider Aggregator, we require at least 4 or 5 days, I think. You can do a bit more than this. The reason of this is after the expiration, if it has not been claimed by you, it can be canceled. This allows you to get off any technical issues coming in the middle. You can see all the details of and it can be verified. So both participants can verify a guarantee. I've created a guarantee from my organization, the one I have currently. Oh, sorry. This is the organization that I have created now, and this is the organization that will receive the money, the funds. In this case, Glider Aggregator. You can see the amount, and you can see the currency as well, and when it's going to be expired. So now, if your balances, you will see that it has changed a bit. You will see that now you have some reserve funds. which means that these funds are not available for any new booking. So you cannot exceed your balance. So it's reserved here. Okay, so now that I have a guarantee created, I will create the booking. For this demo, I've put my own email address, so you will receive booking from Air Canada. But of course, you can put the details of the organization. Also, you will see here, because I'm putting all the personal details, and of course, they fall under GDPR regulation if you're in Europe. So you can really see that in this case, all these passenger details are sent directly to the supplier. They're not going through any third parties. So it simplifies your passenger details management. So I'm creating here, can take 40 seconds maybe. So let's just please bear with me. Glider is going in this process to claim the guarantee from Simard Pay. So the funds will be transferred from my organization to Glider Aggregator. It will be instant. So it takes some time. So a lot of systems working. Okay. So I've created my booking, and you can see I have my creative. So if you're familiar with airline industry, you can recognize the 014 number, which is a Air Canada plating number. Normally, I receive an email immediately. So let me check my mailbox, and I will share it with you. Yep, it arrived. Okay, so you can see that I just received this email for the Montreal to Toronto flight. You can see my name. You can see all the details, and you can see the price that is paid, which is exactly the same. And you can see also my balance has now reduced. I'm going to retrieve my balance on Simard Pay. So you can see that now I available less, and there's no amount reserved because now it has moved to the Glider Aggregator balance, which is going to pay Air Canada. So let's go back to the booking, to this diagram. So you have seen we did the shopping, we did the order, creating guarantee, claiming guarantee. It was a bit more technical. We have shared the notebook if you want. So just to wrap up what we have seen today, we have seen how to onboard an organization with Marketplace. We have seen how to create and receive bookings. We have seen how to receive and make B2B payments, pretty straightforward. For the next steps, I invite you to already start registering your organization. And if you have technical knowledge, you can start implementing and using it today. So if you're a supplier, you can expose your content. If you are an industry aggregator, you can expose your content. If you're a corporate, you can start getting the content from the 1in3 marketplace. Of course, if you have any questions or if this seems a bit too complex, feel free to get in touch. You have my email address here, and we are really happy to answer your questions. So I guess now it's the time for the Q&A. So please, I don't know, Spencer, if you've received some questions already, and we can move to it. How should we do it? So do we have some questions already? So I don't know if I have some questions. Okay. Okay, I'm running through the questions. So first question, does the Ethereum fee apply to shopping transactions as well? The answer is no. Ethereum fee is just when you modify your smart contract. So it's really a one-off. Once it is done, you don't have to pay anything. Second question, when are we going to push the glider code to GitHub? So short answer is already on GitHub, but it's on private repository. But we need to first go through a security audit to have something safe that can be distributed to everyone. It's something really important, so we don't want to do this before. But yeah, once it is ready, we're going to publish it. It's one of our top priorities. I have a question on the Leaf token. So I already said at the beginning, Leaf token will not address it today. But in short, it can be one. It is going to be one of the trust verifications methods. So you have seen social media verification method. You have seen website verification method. So Leaf token will be one extra. So it is going to give you some more.
Matthew, I guess I can take over for just a few seconds here in terms of Leaf tokens. I know that you know, we are following very closely our crypto community and our supporters. And I'm going to mention it very quickly right now. We're working on a few new integrations. One, and we mentioned it before, is with Kleros, and we're actually developing brand new smart contracts with them that will be connecting to the platform. And those contracts will be using Leaf as a staking option. And that's going to be basically one of those proofs that Matthew was showing. But that's going to be a community approval basically for that company. And there is an interesting game theoretical things that will be applied there. And another way that Leaf will be used is again to, for example, if you're connecting to Simard or if you're connecting to some other companies, you may opt in to choose Leaf to stake it to show that you're not a spammer. And the principle here is very simple, is that a spammer or a fraudster, they will not have enough funds to do that. And a legitimate company will be able to do that very easily. So Leaf will be used in several different instances, and we'll be covering it very, very closely at our workshop that we're gonna have on August the 3rd, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's correct. Okay, so I have another question. Where can we get the document to scan the blockchain for inventory? So this is the org ID repository on WiningTree GitHubs. Everything is documented there. This one is already open source. Question, what is the commission for Simard Pay services? There's no commission at the moment. We are thinking to add some additional value services. For example, if you want to pay with credit card on this kind of thing, we may add some more premium services where there would be a fee, but for the moment, there's nothing decided. Also, I have a question. When do you plan to introduce a more user-friendly UI? So there's different aspects to the thing is, we have already a user interface where you can manage pretty much everything related to your organization. What is not available as a user interface is the ability to create some bookings and to receive some bookings. And of course, to do this, you need some quite in-depth technical knowledge. So it's not something that we think can be addressed with a user interface right now. So it would be really, really complex to implement. And we think it's more something that each supplier and each buyer would need to implement on their side. We are going to open source Glider OTA, so you can basically clone it and have your own booking interface if you want. For suppliers, it's more complex because, for example, with an hotel, you have a channel management, you need to synchronize your inventory. So it's something that is far more complex than just a user interface. Any other question? I think that's all what I've seen in the chat. If you have any question, feel free to ask. We still have 10 minutes.
Hey, Matthew. So we had a few questions that came through on the registration page that we sent out. One that got brought up a few times was, do you provide an existing interface to various channel managers or connections to PMS systems? If you want to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so on the channel manager on PMS systems, we have already integrated with eRevMax, which is one of the leading channel managers, and we use it for Nordic Choice. So if you're an eRevMax customer, it's pretty much a few, just ask your eRevMax entry point to connect you, and it will be done very easily. More in long term, it's something that we are thinking about, but we'd like to see if there's some interest to have some channel manager or PMS connections.
And I would like to also add that we will be open sourcing, as Matthew is saying, the glider connection modules after the security audit, just to make sure that everything's safe. So those things will be open sourced, and there's an opportunity for all sorts of different suppliers to directly integrate through an open source, through pull request, GitHub process, their APIs into these modules and make them available to all the suppliers. So this is one of the innovations that we have here at Winding Tree, that it's a slightly different model.
So I have a question on the Winding Tree development. Our activities, the last commit was made 2 years ago. I think you're looking at the wrong repository. We are doing a lot of development at the moment. The thing is, most of it is in private repositories. So there's a few, if you search, for example, OrgID smart contract or Arbor, so it's a Winding Tree marketplace user interface. I think this one are public. For Glider, Glider, yes, Glider is going to be open source later when we pass the security audit. Finally, I have one more question, which is, what is the next step if I'm interested in setting up my company? So please go to marketplace.windingtree.com and register it exactly how I explain in all these steps. I will go back to steps. Yeah, so set up your ACM account, create your organization, verify your organization. These are really the first steps. If you have any doubts in the meanwhile, I left my personal email at the beginning. You can contact me. Another question is, how can I integrate my NDC API as a supplier? So if you're a supplier with an NDC API, you can expose your NDC API in the service section of the organization. So if I'm going back to this, you can see here there's service management, and you can add a service, and here you can add your NDC API connection. And of course, if you do this, most of the NDC implementation today, they don't support this OrgID authentication mechanism. So we think it's worth spending a few more time than just exposing your API, but adding also the OrgID API connection with all the verifications that I explained. So I have described everything, how to get your token, how to verify your token. So if you do this, it will really help everyone to onboard your NDC API quite easily. I hope that answers the question. If you have any question, I see it's Matthew as well. So Matthew, if you have any questions, feel free to contact me, matthew@windingtree.com. Okay. So I think that's all the questions that we have. I don't know, Max, do you want to wrap up to this? Okay, yeah.
No, it was great. Thank you. Thank you very much. Hopefully this is useful for everyone who's on this call. I know there's a lot more questions. I know that there's a lot more stuff that people who attended this call can learn. And we're here to help. Please do reach out. Let's do it, guys.
Yeah, so thanks everyone for your time and involvement, your interest. If you have anything, please feel free to ask. I've seen a question on the white paper as well, but this is maybe more for the AMR session. Okay.
Yeah, there was a quick
everyone.
question about white paper, so I'll address it
Sorry.
just 1 second. We are preparing a lot of new stuff. The white paper it was on the old website. We'll be making all of those documents available, historical documents and new stuff, new documentation as well. So a lot of development. Another question was how active is Winding Tree development, which you've addressed already.
Yeah,
Quite a lot of activity. So again, as I said, a lot new documents and stuff that we're preparing for you guys.
Perfect. So thank you, everyone. And yeah, if you have any feedback, feel free to ask. And we're really excited to see you onboarding the Winding Tree Marketplace. Goodbye.